Hey everybody, I want to talk to y'all about some gang shit. I want to talk to y'all about some gang shit with these rappers. I want to talk about Quando Rondo, and I want to talk about Kodak Black. Kodak Black just quit his hood too. That's what he said, right? Well, I don't know necessarily you call it the hood, the Haitian shit, the Z's, right? And Quando just quit 60s. I'm starting to believe that this is just a hustle. These gangs are just presenting this as a hustle to these rappers. The rappers make it, boom. And that's what I thought about Quando. I said, oh, okay, maybe this dude, maybe he made it, he goes out there. So I do some digging. I said, well, what's up with these? You know what I mean? Why couldn't he just join a hood in Savannah, Georgia? Why can't you just be from fucking Savannah, Georgia? Find you a gang out there. Okay. So I look into it. Turns out there's 60s in Savannah, Georgia. Rolling 60s from LA, already brought that shit out there. It's already established. It's been established for over a decade. They've been out there putting in work, getting at motherfuckers, all that shit. So, this is an established gang. This dude wasn't faulty. He's not banging crip on no faulty shit, on no fraudulent shit. Homie was a 60, right? He was a 60. That is the truth. Okay. So now, we got to look at why did he quit banging? Right? If we look at Kodak Black, we see that he's got his own personal reasons. He said, oh, I don't like this dude. That's kind of a stupid-ass reason. I like Kodak Black, but that's a stupid-ass reason. But if we're going to talk about Quando Rondo, who's in the middle of the business right now, I mean, the backlash is still coming, right? Because now that I know there's a whole bunch of motherfucking 60s in Savannah, Georgia. So where's he go now? He already done told all these fools, right, oh, I'm done. And he even said his clique, which is Jump Out Gang. That's his clique. This fool even renounced his clique. He renounced the homies, right? So I look into it. I says, well, why would he do this, right? Now, there's a bunch of rumors running around, and they say, oh, well, they're coming down on the 60s. The government is coming down on the 60s. The DAs are coming down on the 60s. Da-da-da-da-da. So I start looking into it. It's not just in Georgia. They're coming down on the Crips in Portland. They're coming down on the 60s in California. They're coming down, they're fucking with the Hoovers too, it looks like. They're targeting the Hoovers as well, right? They're targeting a bunch of hoods, a bunch of Crip hoods. I actually know I lived in Portland for a little while, so I know some of these hoods. Kirby Block and, I don't remember the name of the other one. Maravilla Ponds, something like that. But there was one named Kirby Block from close to downtown. Their neighborhood's kind of by downtown Portland. Where I lived in Portland was mostly a blood hood. It was on Northeast 132nd and Sandy. But here nor there. So it's absolutely true that they are coming to put their foot in the ass. The DAs and attorney generals and shit like this, the government in general, the hand of the government is coming down on the rolling 60s right now. Okay? And I got word, right, from a couple different people. None of it's confirmed yet, right? Some of it off YouTube. They say that somebody's already telling. There's somebody involved with these rolling 60s already done told. They're saying they already done told. Word got back to Quando Rondo. He knows that the hammer's about to come down, that the indictment's about to come down. So homie's jumping ship. He's using this murder as an excuse to jump ship, right? So then, because I'm looking at it and I says, well, is this fool just a hoe, right? Is it? I mean, maybe not even just a hoe. Maybe just 2 people in a week, it was too much. Or watching dude get dusted. Maybe he thought it was for him. Or who knows? Maybe that's another thing we got to think about. Quando saw the dudes who did the shooting. He knows who did it. And now he's turning his back on his hood? That's weird. That's weird, right? Unless it was your hood. Unless your hood has something to do with it. Why would you turn your back on your hood? That's who you're supposed to go find. Whenever one of your boys get popped, that's the one place I would want to be. I would go back to the homie's house, right? Because whenever you beefing, that's what you do. You stay together. You stay at the homie's house, right? We used to have a couch in the front room of the homie Smugs' house. It broke all the fucking whatchalls off. We had the front door had been kicked in so many times The front door had been kicked in so many times by the police that you couldn't close the door anymore. This was a blood house. We weren't bloods, but we kicked it super tough with them. My hood kicked it super tough when we weren't bloods. Homie Smugs was a Crenshaw Mafia, and his little brother was from my hood, the homie Faustino from my hood. But we kicked it real tough with the bloods, right? So the house, the front door, to close the front door, I would like lean on it, and then we take a knife and shove it in the door jamb. That's the only way you could actually lock the door, right? And this is how many times we, through gangbanging, through the cops, through whatever, that the cops had kicked the fucking door in, right? All the furniture in the room, because of drive-bys, all the furniture had the legs busted off it and was low-riding. You would sleep real low. Everybody would sleep real low, sit real low whenever you hung out, because people would shoot through the windows. You know what I mean? People shoot about this height whenever they shoot through, you know what I mean? Whenever they do a drive-by. A whole bunch of holes in that motherfucker. They'd egg our house too. There was some Crip fools who used to come by and egg our house. I guess they didn't care for us enough to shoot at us, but yeah, they used to egg our fucking house. But so anyway, my point is, motherfuckers is, I looked into Quando Rondo's past. This motherfucker's went to business. He been through the fucking group homes. He been through hitting fucking houses, kicking in doors, a bunch of fucking murders. All right, this dude's seen. This is not the first murder, right? This is like 4, right? There was one in 2014. His homie Coffee, his best dude in 2014, got popped after doing a robbery. His homeboy Coffee, right? Homeboy did a robbery, and then whenever they jammed him up, we're like, "Hey, homie, we think you stole our shit." He was like, "Yeah, homie, I took your shit," and then they ended up popping that. All right. So he loses his best homie right then. He already been through the fucking ringer. He's the dude, Quando, already been through the ringer bad, through group homes and being beat and burned and fucking all kinds of shit. So 2014, this dude gets popped. What's his name? King Von gets popped right in front of him. I mean, even though King Von was swinging on him, it's still somebody getting murdered right in front of you. Somebody who's getting murdered right in front of you, whether they're swinging on you or not. That's still going to take a toll. That's going to take a mental toll on you. And then these last 2 in the last week. And I'm sure there's probably some other shit too. So I get it. I get that his shit is, you know what I mean? This is obviously going to play with your mentality. But it makes me think that there's something going on here that's not connecting, right? Because the very first place he should want to be right now is back with his homies. Unless his homies had something to do with this, right? Why wouldn't you want to go back around your homies? And that's another thing, is this isn't, that's what I'm trying to get at here, is this isn't a weenie. He's not some fucking weenie. I thought he was. I went into it, he's a little skinny motherfucker. I'm thinking, this fool's a fucking weenie. He joined a gang. He shouldn't have. No, I was wrong. I went and licked at this fool's past. The motherfucker's with the business. So why is he turning his back on his hood whenever shit's getting hot? Now, some people are saying it's because the cops are coming down on the 60s. I don't buy that. I don't buy that. Because I could just be a 60. I could just, you know, it's not like he was showing a bunch of love right to the land anyway. He could just be like, you know what, I'm going to be a 60 over here, cuz, and just chill at the crib and just lay low. He doesn't have to have guns or run around. Doesn't have to do all that. He's got enough money to just lay low and let any indictments play out and just tell people. I mean, if you're smart, tell people, hey, as soon as people start talking on the phone, you just hang up. I ain't hearing that. Stop talking on the phone, right? So he could ride this out, but he's not. He's choosing to say, I'm done. So why? Why is he saying I'm done? Is it because the cops are coming down on him? Because the DA's coming down on him? Is it because somebody just told? That's what who said that? I should throw my source out there anyway. King AK-47. King AK-47 on YouTube. I need to tag him in this video. He says someone in Quando's inner circle is telling. That's what he says. He says they already got everything they need and they're coming down on it, and Quando found out about the situation, right? And that's why he's tapping out. I don't know if I believe that. I really don't. I think it might have something else to. I honestly think it's got something to do. I mean, I can't prove it. Obviously, I can't prove it. But it makes no sense to me to turn your back on your hood after this happened. It's like the worst fucking decision ever. You know? And he could have just, homie, the dude just died in front of you. You didn't even have to say nothing for like a week, homie, and nobody would have even blamed him if he just would have kept his fucking mouth shut for a week. And that's a lesson. That's a lesson that we can all take from this, is don't make fucking statements, especially like that, public statements, whenever you're off your square, whenever you fucked off and off your square, because that's what he did. Whenever he was still shell-shocked from the fucking murders, he got on there and got to talking about it, and now I bet you anything he wishes he could take that back. You know what I mean? Saying all that. He just didn't have to. Your boy just got hit. Your boys just got hit. You don't owe nobody nothing, homie. I don't owe you nothing, cuz. I just go do my fucking thing, homie. I'm right? You know? Fuck you. That's where I'd be. Fuck you. My homie just got killed, homie. But that's not what he's doing. He said, I quit 60s. This is a bad idea. I don't know what's going on, but it wouldn't surprise me. I'll tell you this. What's the government going to do about all these fucking murders? Because whenever the government gets on their feet again, they're going to come, because there's a sociological pendulum. They always come back. The government always comes back. The government will be on their feet for a while. The cops are on their feet right now, or on their heels. You know, they took a couple, you know, defund the police, George Floyd, shit like that. They took a couple to the chin, and they're on their heels. But Biden's not going to be in office forever. Somebody who really likes the cops is going to be back in office pretty soon. And then we go from there. This is, what are the cops going to, the cops have to do something about this, right? As much as they want to talk about racism and all this other bullshit, fucking white power, or what do they say, fucking white supremacy is white supremacy everywhere. You motherfuckers need to do something about the black dudes killing themselves. Fucking do something. Because these Democrat cities are fucking devolving in front of us. And there's a list of them, that are getting worse. Baltimore, Philly, New York, Chicago, right? Just worse and worse and worse and worse. Down the fucking tubes. At least in San Francisco, they got rid of that fucking DA, right? What was his name? Chesa Boudin? They got rid of Chesa Boudin. Put in another one, right? Put in another DA. Homie's going hard on the what's called now. I don't know what you go hard on in San Francisco. I guess the homeless. You know what I mean? Or drugs. I don't fucking know. But I can't imagine how much money drugs are making right now off the open border as far as fentanyl and meth and all this shit is concerned. Because if we can get it up here, junkie prices, if I can get meth for $200 an ounce up here on a fucking junkie price, imagine somebody who's plugged. I haven't been in the game for years, and I can get it for that price. Imagine somebody who is actually plugged into the game, the prices that they could get, right? This is absurd. This is absurd. And we know from the 1920s, we know what happens when you give the gangs a vector to make massive amounts of money. And we know the type of corruption that comes from the massive amounts of money. I wouldn't be surprised if the cops are they're just biding their time, dude. They're just biding their time, watching what's going on, letting all these gang members fucking kill each other. And and all these dumb motherfuckers go on Instagram and talk about it anyway. Or make a song about it. So anyway, this is my rant on gang shit. Is whenever I was young, you were from a hood. You can go get put on a hood. That would have been weird. That would have been weird in another neighborhood. What the fuck I want to get put on with these fools for? I want to get put on with my fucking homies. You know what I mean? So I think this whatcall is bad business, where they've introduced a lot of these West Coast gangs. Not necessarily introduced, but the fact that these rappers pick them up. You know, Weezy should have been something from fucking Louisiana. I don't know. What do they do? 5th Ward or 9th Ward or 8th Ward? Or that's how they do it out there, right? I think there might be some folks and shit out there too, but I'm not sure about that. Don't quote me on that. But claim your hood, homie. Just claim where you're from, dog. I'm from Denver. I'm from West 13th Avenue in Denver, homie. 13th Street and Wolf. 13th Street Wolves. You see the wolves? You see the one sun and the 3 wolves? That's it. Nothing fantastic. No super mega blood, super mega crip, nothing like that. I'm from a street gang, homie. Just be from your fucking hood, homie. Be with your homies, you know? So, that's what I got on gangbanging. Be from your hood, not from somebody else's hood.